and my dislike of authority is a deep, deep fuel in me. I do not like being told what to do. I do not like it. It is a big, big part of my religion. I have to stop myself reflexively doing the opposite of what I'm told. If someone speaks to me authoritatively, someone asks me to help them, I will do my level best to help them. If someone tells me what to do, I find it very, very difficult indeed not to do the opposite. Anarchist calisthenics, break rules every day just to remind yourself that you belong to something higher than a set of systems potentially imposed by a malevolent force.
Candace sent me this, and I almost ran through a wall. I was so pumped up. I was like, this is the gospel according to Russell. I've never heard anything in my life that so accurately and concisely described my worldview. Like for anybody, and for the fans out there that know, anybody who's ever asked me for an autograph, for the last 5 years, my autograph is Become Ungovernable, Gerard Michaels. That's like, we tell people on our podcast all the time, because we're like, hey, don't be afraid to run a red light.
You talking about Slick and Thick?
Slick and Thick. Don't be afraid to run a red light. If people like chatting with Candace, they're going to love Slick and Thick. And if people like Slick and Thick, you're going to love chatting with Candace, because you love this show, which is called
Canceled Weekly.
Canceled Weekly. Moby Clip. America, you slut.
Do you think that all people are like that? Because I don't.
No.
No,
I think for whatever reason, us three are very much like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people can be like that. I think people just need to see the leadership. They need to see the non-compliant that have the bravery to not be these obedient cowards, because it's a very hard thing to be the first person on the dance floor, especially when you're talking about the most powerful government that's ever existed in the history of the world. You're talking not just about any authoritarians. We see people being ruined constantly for stepping out against. There was, the Proud Boys, who are assholes. Fine. They got 17 years. 17 and 16 years, I believe, respectively, for their quote-unquote roles in January 6th. But we watched an entire summer of love, of looting, of burning. Nobody got anything. Nothing happened to any of those people. That sends a signal. That's a social signal to the rest of us. They sent us, they're telling us, if you're against us, we're going to hammer you. So you have to be brave. And it's a hard thing to be brave. But I think it's a contagious thing as well. Candace?
I think that's a very optimistic view of people. And I try
That's
to
me,
I try
the
to be
optimist.
try to be, but I think it's really hard to change. I think very few people ever do or have the capacity for. And while I agree no one wants to be the first person on the dance floor, once you see a group of people doing it and then you do that, that's still conformity. So it's the opposite of bravery isn't cowardice, it's conformity, right? And I don't think that goes away just because you made the decision because the wind shifted. That's not now being anti-authority or practicing your anarchy archetype. It's you're still conforming. You're still conforming. It's just a different flavor.
My thinking on that is I agree with you, but you don't need everybody to come on board, right? The American Revolution was 5%, 6% of the population were actually involved in the revolution. Very, 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 most of our issues stem from people thinking the problem is bigger than it is. Government is very powerful, but there's very few of them. 10,000 people in a country of 330 million. We have 500-something federal elected officials. 500-something, right? That are sitting there holding sway over 330 million people. You don't need 100 million people to find their voice. You just need 10% more. You just need one more in the group of 10 to join you and leave them. And then there's always going to be that 75% in the middle that are just waiting for the power dynamic to play out and say,
Is that true? There's 500 elected officials? That's it?
Well, you got 100. You have 100 in... No, it's not true. It's probably closer to 700. You have 100 senators.
Less than 1,000.
Yeah. Elected federal officials? Yeah, you got... How many Congress people were we up to? It changes every 10 years, but I think
I don't know.
400 something. We got a president. We got a vice president. We elect them. We don't elect anybody in the cabinet. Those are all appointed.
Right. They're
we
appointed.
Don't.
So
we don't elect anybody in the judicial branch.
Right, the government is
Yeah.
bigger than that, but the elected officials of the government
Our
is
elected,
only around 700. You think?
maybe 600.
Yeah, pull that
It's
shit up,
100
please, Christian.
senators, one president, one vice president, and how many Congress people are right now?
Not that one, silly goose.
I could just look it up right now.
All right.
Hey Siri, how many Congress members are there in the United States?
Shout out Siri.
435. Yeah, so I
Less
was
than
right.
500.
Yeah, it's like there's 537
I find
elected
that
officials
interesting.
in a country of 330 million.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's why it's really easy for foreign entities to buy those people.
Yeah.
You give them 10 million each, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you don't think it's you don't think it's they're able to. You don't think the population would sway with a groundswell of anti-authoritarian movement?
I don't. I think it's. I feel like that's a temperament thing. That you're born with it, and some people maybe they'll follow along, but they're never going to be a leader of a movement like that. They're not going to have like that visceral response when someone commands something out of them.
Yeah, but think about what you just said. They're natural. I agree with it. There are followers and there are leaders, but the followers right now are following the powerful. So if you can present yourself as powerful, why wouldn't they follow you?
Yeah, but it's, at the same time, though, I don't think that they have that kind of energy going into it. I don't think that they're like, I have to stop myself from doing the opposite because you have this response to authority.
I think the better question to ask is, do the followers know that they're followers? Are they
No.
self-aware?
No.
Do you agree with that, Mick?
Are the followers aware that they're followers?
Yeah. Do you think that they're self-aware or
No. They're not like, yeah, I'm a follower. It's fucking cool. Yeah, no.
Well, so then awareness is the first battle.
I agree. I think people are one of the like most off-putting qualities is like someone who's not self-aware. You know what I mean? Like a lack of self-awareness is like, ugh, it's like gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
And
ugh.
Yeah, we are in an absolute plague of a lack of self-awareness. The internet has helped people who are very, to put it kindly, middling intellects present themselves as.
Yeah. Like these pseudo-intellectuals.
Oh man.
And,
Yeah.
like us three.
Yes. As soon as I hear, but you can always hear they got like the catchphrases. As soon as I hear like one of the catchphrases, I'm immediately like, oh, you're one of those. As soon as I hear like do the work or full stop, or I'm like, oh my God, here we go. I got Mad Libs County College regurgitation coming out here. Oh yeah, okay, cool. You took a 100 level psychology course, please. Tell me about how everybody in the world before you was wrong, but you've got it right. You're so brilliant. You're the brilliantest. You're the smartest. You're the best. Everybody who's
it's
ever
also-
lived in the history of humanity is an asshole, except for you and the people who think like you. Isn't that amazing?